Hey everybody, and welcome to Department Spotlight, where we talk to our colleagues and friends about the South African film industry and just the film industry in general. So today we are covering directing, and since me and Mark were the only two directors on this project, it's just us today. So sorry, no guest speakers or whatever, but I think we can cover some cool things. Can I steal one of your questions?
Yeah.
We've got the questions here in front of us, sorry. But one of Mark's questions was, do you believe in the Auteur theory, right? And we just spoke about like Wes Anderson, kind of, which a lot of people would classify as an auteur.
Yeah. But I think
but let's explain what is the Auteur theory.
An auteur is basically like this film or this. It can apply to different like mediums of art as well. It's like this thing came from that person, and it's like they're the only sort of like leading creative force in the whole thing. It's theirs, and so you get like Kubrick or Wes Anderson or PTA or like Jean-Luc Godard, and the sort of, I suppose it did in film, it like came from like the French New Wave kind of movement of like this film came from that person, their names behind it, they're the only sort of driving creative force. Which the reason why I put this question in there is because I think I have problems with just the perception of what people think is an auteur anyway, because Wes Anderson, he's classified as like an auteur, but he's not collaborating with people. Kubrick was like is an auteur, but like he always had his collaborators with him.
So it's not like Wes Anderson is building the sets.
Yeah,
he's
more like I just disagree with the whole perception of like auteur in the first place. I mean, which is why I wanted to ask the question.
That's a good point. I don't think I'm like as strongly against it as you are, because sure, of course they're not doing it themselves, but they're still the ones explaining to the, for example, the art director, I want it to be symmetrical, I want it to be pastel colors, and I want it to be like he's also, speaking to the cinematographer, do this on a dolly, don't do it handheld.
Yeah.
So I do.
But that's just the director.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
a good director.
I mean, how many people have tried to copy Wes Anderson's style, right?
Every film.
Exactly. And how many of them actually got it right?
Not many.
None of them. Well, okay, maybe there are some, but that's my point. Like, just because like you can remake the style, it's not gonna be the same as the person who is like the driving force. So I kind of agree with it. It's not the same for art.
I just meant like the way that it's viewed as like it's viewed like negatively. In terms of people always say like, oh, they're an auteur, they just do things their own way, they don't ever collaborate, it's their way or the highway. But I in my experience of like researching these people, watching tons of interviews and reading about them, it's never that way with anyone, even like Kubrick, who was apparently this like the cliche of like this asshole director of you do the things this way, you do that. He was not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a process.
Yeah.
But he was very much a collaborator.
Yeah,
you can't be a good director if you aren't a collaborator.
Exactly.
And the auteur theory, the view of it is that's like them and only them, which I think is nonsense. Like every single good director was a collaborator.
Yeah, I mean,
Ingmar
like
Bergman,
coming back to what we said earlier. Come back to what like Kubrick famously on Eyes Wide Shut, hundreds of takes.
Yeah.
Hundreds. But it's if everybody on set hated him, they wouldn't have
It
stayed.
wouldn't be there. No
They
one
wouldn't
would
have
be there.
stuck around.
No one's gonna do that. But
And
like,
that's because he probably cared about them, and that's what
Yeah.
we said earlier. So it's not this like on a pedestal kind of thing, because there's still people I mean, I guess in like the real world, you get these like CEOs who just don't care. They're like ruthless, of these big conglomerates, and they like sort of stuck away in their office, and people like think about them in their office on the 20th floor. But you can't be that as a director, because you're there.
Yeah.
People can
exactly.
see the way you act. A big CEO could hide away, like I said,
Yeah.
and like pretend to care and do one thing, and then that spread the word. But if you're a director on a set, you can't do one nice thing for one person
Yeah.
and then treat everybody else terribly,
Yeah.
and then hope it like spreads.
Exactly. Like, do you think Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise would have stuck around if they didn't trust in the process?
Exactly.
There's a reason why he wanted to do it a million times
Mm.
to get that performance. They understood that. He understood that. They did it. And like, there's also something coming off of that question, and also linking to the thing about directors just being good people, is that there's that famous story as well with Shelley Duvall in The Shining, and how on the set of The Shining, apparently he like emotionally like traumatized her, apparently, on the set to make her to get that performance. And then in an interview I saw with her, she said that in retrospect she thought it was an amazing experience. And like, I would never do that. I think that there's ways to get a good, you don't have to be a rude person to get a good performance. There's no excuse for like not being a good person. But what do you think about that? Like, how far would you go? I mean, yeah, I would never cross the line into being a horrible person. But then the thing is, how, like,
No, but
she would have just walked away, right?
yeah,
If you were,
if it was that bad.
yeah.
I think you have to spend time with your actors before you even start shooting. You have to spend time with your actors, get to know them. On Mullermuller, I spent I think we did 3 weeks of rehearsals, and like the first week I just did like one session with each actor, and it was like a 4-hour session, and I just spoke with them. I was like this new director, didn't know what I was doing, but I just wanted to like find out who they were, because I had this idea where like I'm not gonna let the actors watch the takes. I don't know why, but I thought that if I could just get them to trust me, then they wouldn't have to watch the takes, And I think I still don't do that because it like saves a lot of time. But I also have learned to not watch every single playback. That's a different story. But it's that thing of building the trust. Like when you need people to be emotional, I think if you speak to them before, like on the set, I'm gonna maybe mention this. Are you okay with it? Building is kind of consent. Because like I'm not saying like be like a ruthless dragon or whatever, but if you can, like Barry, you saw Barry, obviously. You told me about Barry.
The series.
The series.
Yeah.
So there's that scene where the acting coach is talking to the like lead female character.
I know what you're talking about. It's so good.
And he's like, and she's like not doing it properly, and then he's just like tearing the performance apart and saying why you're an actor and this and that, and then at the end he's like, okay, use that, and then she just delivers the best performance ever.
Yeah.
And so my thinking behind it is make sure you have that relationship before you start.
Okay.
Right? But then if you need to do a specific thing that might in the moment not feel kosher or whatever, obviously within reason, then go for it. And then afterwards she's like, I'm sorry. Because like he also he's like, I'm sorry, I knew this would get you.
Yeah.
And she was grateful for it, because this is something that she can then use going forward.
Yeah.
So.
But in any other context, aside from the thing that the dynamic that you've essentially constructed, you're still like not being like a good person, right? Isn't it weird?
It is weird. It is weird. But yeah, I guess in that moment you're not being a good person, but there's no like trauma involved.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're intentionally hurting a person. You're just doing something to get a performance, you know. And then immediately afterwards, after the camera cuts, after you call cut, you go there and like, I'm sorry, are you okay? Blah blah blah. You're not just like, let's just do it again. That was terrible. You know, that's what I mean. Like, as soon as you get what you need, you like tell them, okay, thank you so much. That was amazing. You know, affirm, or give them that affirmation that it might not have felt the best in the moment, but like on camera, it looks amazing. I'd also like, I mean, it's not a question, but like that's a weird like moral quandary. Like, is film important enough to do that to people? You know?
But I think like with people, directors who are like famously assholes, like Lars von Trier, for example, who like traumatized Bjork to the point where she like didn't want to be involved with films anymore.
Yeah.
It's like there's a line between you just doing it to get a good performance and the actor and you both know that this is what's happening to get the performance, versus like that guy's just an asshole.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Like, he's just a rude person.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also think that there's an approach you can take. There's obviously a line, but I always think that like there's a way you can get a performance, like a very good performance, also without being an asshole at all. You know what I mean?
And I mean, it depends on the film. You know, if it's a comedy,
yeah.
You're not gonna
Be like,
terrorize people.
Yeah.
So to conclude this part of the conversation, I think there's a line, like you said. But if you did like your pre-production work with the actors properly, then you'll never cross that line.
Yeah, because you have a rapport with an actor or a person once you get to know them. So,
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so I think let's wrap it up there. Thank you, Mark, for this conversation.
Thank you.
Everybody out there, for listening. Go and check out all the previous podcasts. It's over on the YouTube channel and also on all of your podcast sites, Spotify, whatever. So all of the shirts that we're wearing in the show are our shirts from our films and from the production company and like Loop Pictures and whatever. If you are interested in buying any of them, let us know. We can like maybe set up a store and sell them, send them. Merch. So yeah, let us know if that's something you'd be interested in, and we'll let you know. If there's enough interest, we'll set it up. Okay, so then until the next one, go and make your movie.
And buy merch.
Support the channel. Do the Patreon. Do you think we're gonna have a Patreon?
I don't know, but let's keep this in. Okay, bye.